Hey everybody, before we get started in today's video, the card collector tournament starts tomorrow. Be ready for that. You get points for the cards summoned, not the tokens used. You do need 60,000 points to max out this tournament, so do what you can with what you got. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. What's going on YouTube? This is your boy Black Blade Uchiha coming to you with another video on this game Black Deck, and today we're going to be going over how to make a good deck in this game. So let's go after it. So what you need in this deck or in this game to make a good deck is a win condition, strategy, cards to complete that strategy, and artifacts to assist with that strategy. So that way you can progress a little bit further. All right, and the different types of strategies you have are control, beat down, overpower, stall, damage over time, and bomb. With each of these strategies, they offer their own strengths and weaknesses to allow you to progress in the game. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go to this game and let's see what we can cook up. All right, and we are now in the game. And remember, I said that there's a few different strategies that you can use. Of course, there are different types of expansions with each of these strategies. So for beginners, it is best to choose what you have, to choose the deck that you would use based on what you have. Like, for instance, if you want to do a control deck, you want to do a deck that beats down or overpowers, you want to use a deck that uses bombs, you want to use a deck that damages over time, which would be poisons. Those are all different things that you can do, but it all depends on what you have access to. So I'm going to go off the premise thinking that you have, or you started with the same hero as I did. And the hero I started off this game with is Arthur Hightower. Now, to go over his kit, on the minimum, he buffs melee allies by 10% of his max strength. He only buffs 1 or 2 or something like that. Let's go to the codex so that way we can see the minimum. All right, so buffs another random melee ally by 10% of this card's max strength the first 3 times it attacks. Doesn't have to kill or anything like that. So, and then it also buffs all other melee allies by 12% of this card's max strength. So all your melee cards, which would be any card that doesn't say range, all your cards that say melee will indicate right here the type of attack or effect, right? So if we go to a range card, same spot, it will say ranged, okay? So that's who Arthur Hightower affects. He affects melee cards, and that's it. You can max them out like I did. You can foil them and ascend them like I did. But again, that's up to you based on what you have access to. So again, we're going to go off the premise that you started off with Arthur Hightower. Now, say you lucked out and you were able to get a card that can allow you some level of control as far as a hero, like an Elhazra West Witch or a Runa Sacra. Runa Sacra will be the better of the two, simply because the debuff is going to be stronger, because she is a whole lot stronger when maxed out. Okay, so that's what will make Runa a lot better than West Witch, even though West Witch has the stronger debuff per se. Okay, but we're just going off the premise of you having it. You can still swap either one of these heroes out and pretty much plug and play and do what you like. Typically, the best deck for beginners is some variant of control. You have a couple different options you can do. So early on, you'll probably get access to a lot of these commons and uncommon cards that you see right here. Every faction has their own variant of commons and uncommons. City has soldiers, Forest has mushrooms. Crypt has skeletons. And, well, you get the picture. You want to choose something that's going to benefit you. So if you're choosing a soldier, for example, the best control methods for a beginner would be something that freezes and something that shocks. Those would be the two best methods of control early on. They are instantaneous and they work very, very, very well at controlling the board and the game state. Okay. Now, soldiers have two types of control. They have a taunting ability or protection ability, which allows the soldiers to be attacked first versus being attacked when they want to, right? Unless they have something like serene ability, then they won't be able to avoid attacking your soldiers first, right? You put them in the shield set that allows them to be attacked twice without dying right away. Put them with the evasion kit. On top of that, it gives them an opportunity to also evade an attack, so they still have, you have 3 chances to not die with that card. That is a way to do it. So there's your strategy, there's your artifacts. Now let's do the damage portion. Ultimately, to win, you have to do some form of damage, right? You have to wipe out your opponent's cards no matter what you do. So early on, you may not have access to a lot of the legendaries or the epics and things of that nature, but you do have access early on to some really, really good, really great uncommons and commons. The best one I can think of for a beginner for damage dealing would be a combinate one of the two. Either you use a goblin or, where are you? You use zombies, which will also work into a stall, but you can use them for damage. But primarily you want to use the bats from the Abyss faction. Okay, so those are your damage dealers early on that can control the board, especially if you get the uncommon frost or shock ones. They can control the board and they can hit multiple cards at once, which is something that you want early on, because when you're trying to clear those early stages, you want to hit as many cards as quickly as possible, or as many as possible as you can early on in the game. So now that we have some variant principles, we're going to redo my whole deck that you see right here. I'm going to go through, I'm gonna choose a rare hero, I'm gonna choose some rare cards. Unfortunately, a lot of my cards are maxed out or they have been leveled up to some degree, so it won't be a fair comparison as if you're a beginner, but at least you'll have an idea of what a beginner deck would look like if you put some effort into it and you max them out or what have you. So we're going to replace my Raziel with Arthur Hightower. He was my first hero and he allowed me to do a lot of the buffing and stuff like that. Okay, I'm going to get rid of my legendaries, unfortunately, and we're going to go to my rares. All right, and we already have my skeleton dragon here. We have a witch, which does debuffs. We have shaman, which does buffs. We have a priest. This is all sustainability. Buffing allows your cards to get stronger, and then debuffing allows your card to weaken the opponent's cards, right? So you have both of those elements there. Now we just need damage dealing and control. Okay. So for more of the damage, I'm going to put in, well, let's put in a control element. We're going to put you in. We're going to put in, where are you? I know I have you at 50. There you go. We're going to put you in. All right. Now you're starting to see this coming along. Let's go to the mountain faction actually. And we're going to go to, actually, no, let's go to city first. Go to city, choose you. All right. And then we're going to go to the mountain faction, and we're going to choose you. Right? So the shock ability allows you to turn off opponents' abilities when they are under the effect of shock. Okay? So that's what it does. Frost just allows you to stop your opponent from being able to attack and move and whatnot. All right, so let's go ahead and take this deck for a spin. We are going to go to campaign. We'll go to an earlier stage. We're not gonna go too early, but we'll go an earlier stage. Let's go here. I'm gonna do stage 6. I know I should be able to beat this with what I have here, but let's go over it. Actually, yeah, let's go over it. There's only 3 cards that I have to worry about with Frost. She has the ability to resist all elements, which is okay. But we're gonna do this run, and then again, we're just gonna recap and go from there. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. We're running it on auto. Now you see that the debuff is strong and it's knocking them down, so that is an element of control. The ability to sustain your cards in battle with taking minimum damage as possible, right, is going to help sustain you. And the taunting ability did help sustain as well, right? And then boom, I won that match. Okay, so I hope in today's video you did learn something about how to build your own deck and how to create a deck with a simple strategy that can allow you to progress further into the game. Control did help me develop my cards and stuff like that, so that way I can get to where I am now. I'm still nowhere near where I want to be, but I am way better than I was when I first started the game. With that being said, I'm going to end the video right here. Don't forget to smash that like button, comment down below. What strategy do you want to see? What strategy have you seen? What strategy do you like the most? Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when new content drops. Holla back at your boy. Peace.